Peace, y'all. Jonny Fastlane here. So, Kodak Black gets arrested, and Lil Yachty says he writes for the City Girls. Plus, Boosie is building a drive-in movie theater. Let's talk hip-hop. Alright, so, that's a bunch of fans screaming F Kodak, right? And the reason why they're screaming F Kodak is because last night in Boston, Kodak Black was supposed to perform, right? So there's like a bunch of fans, they're there, they're waiting to see Kodak, and he never shows up. So they're like standing around for hours and hours and he never shows up, right? So the fans start going crazy. They spent their hard-earned money to see Kodak Black. They start screaming F Kodak, right? Kodak Black's team is there at the venue and they're trying to call him. He's not answering. They're trying to call his manager, like the people that are close to him, that are with him. They're not answering. And they're trying to figure out what the hell is going on with Kodak Black, right? And so the crowd just goes crazy. They start swarming his tour bus. They think he's hiding on the tour bus. They're unsure if he's there. It's just like pandemonium, right? So the police had to be called, right? Because they were starting to like mob out on some crazy shit, like tip over the tour bus type shit, right? So the police get called, they come, they clear out the venue, they send everybody home, and they're like, yo, we don't know about what Kodak Black is doing or where he's at or why the hell he didn't perform, but you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here type shit, you know what I'm saying? So it turns out, right, like a couple hours later, so this was last night, maybe like 11 o'clock, right? So a couple hours later, like this morning, like maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, reports start coming in that Kodak Black had been arrested, right, and held at the United States and Canada border, right? So he was on the way to his show, and the reason why he didn't show up is because he was in police custody, right? So they arrest him for gun charges, right? They found 2 guns in his car and like some marijuana, but a small amount of marijuana so that it's like a misdemeanor, right? Him and like 3 other dudes, right? So now they're being held on bail, $60,000 bail, which I'm sure Kodak Black will pay, right? But it's just crazy because usually it's like the other way around, right? Like, I don't know why, like Kodak, you have guns on you, right? You have some weed on you. Like, why are you trying to cross through the borders? Get rid of the shit and then go get some new guns or some more weed once you get to Boston or whatever it is, if you need to move around like that, right? I would never sit here and say, oh, this rapper is stupid, or tell that rapper you shouldn't be moving around with a pistol or whatever like that, because after what happened to YB and Almighty J, after what happened to Nipsey Hussle, maybe these rappers feel like they need to carry a pistol, so who am I to tell you not to walk around with a gun, right? But what I will tell you is don't try to go through borders with a gun. Like, if you just chilling in Atlanta and you ain't going nowhere today, then fine, have a gun. Or even take the risk, and if you just stateside and you Atlanta, Virginia, New York, Florida, and you're not getting on a plane and y'all just on a bus or something like that, then okay, fine, you know what I'm saying? But if you're trying to literally go through, customs at the US-Canada border with a pistol and some weed, it doesn't really make any sense, right? So then I gotta think, like, did you buy the gun did you buy the guns in Canada? Like, that's weird, right? And then you're trying to come back to the US with it? Like how does that work, right? Or maybe he had the gun in the US and he was able to get it to Canada and it was good, so he felt like he could come back with the shit and then he got caught. Like, I don't know, man. He might be looking out for some T.I. fans. He just dropped expeditiously. Them T.I. fans don't play, man. Maybe even T.I. himself. T.I. got all them army guns. That he bought all them damn guns up in the damn parking lot in Walmart. So you never know, right? But it's just that, yo, man. So now, Kodak Black was kind of, clean, right? So he did all his time for like his other previous court cases. He's been arrested for drugs before. He's been arrested for guns before. And he actually did the time and he was done with all that, right? He wasn't on papers. He wasn't on probation. He wasn't on parole, nothing like that. But he had one court case coming up, some sexual assault thing in North Carolina, right? But this sexual assault happened like years ago, like probably like 2 or 3 years ago now. And they still haven't took him to trial. So in the back of my head, I'm thinking that they're probably going to end up dropping it, because they're taking so long to actually bring him to trial, which kind of means that they really are trying to get like their ducks in a row. And it doesn't take that long to get your ducks in a row. So it's probably that they're really trying to pull at something that ain't gonna fly. And they wasting taxpayers' dollars. So he only had that one last case to go, and then he would have been free and clean. But now that he got arrested, even if he beats that other joint, now he's got to worry about this, right? Usually, and you know how it happens, right? The rich millionaire rapper is not the one who goes to jail for having the drugs and the guns, right? One of his homeboys, somebody in the crew, is the one that's going to go to jail for having the drugs and guns, right? If you're coming through the border, then you're going to go to federal prison, which is a lot more comfortable than, state prison. Maybe you get sentenced to 2 years. You might do 18 months. So during that time, Kodak Black is going to make sure, his homeboy is comfortable, is going to pay the commissary, make sure you don't want for anything as far as food goes, phone calls, shit like that. Make sure that your kids are good or your family is straight. When you get out, you get a sniper gang chain. You might hear your name shout out in a couple songs, free my dog, Blizzy, or whoever the fuck is gonna take the charge, and then go from there, right? So that's probably what's gonna happen once he actually gets released, because he got the lawyers, he got the money and all that stuff. So I don't see Kodak Black going to jail, but this is just crazy. Like, Kodak Black, you got to chill out. You got to calm down, right? And I'm not even saying don't walk around with a pistol. I'm just saying, like, don't go through U.S. borders with a pistol. But that's common sense. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think about this.
Not really.
I know you wrote Act Up by the City Girls.
Yeah, a little bit. So, if you're talking about, like, as far as writing and, like, constructing songs, yes. Like, you're talking about, like, actual making beats.
How'd that come about?
It's actually my first time ever talking about it.
Fire.
One day I was in the studio with my best friend Earl, and he played the beat, and he was like, write something for the City Girls, and I was like, okay, and I just did it. And people, and when it came out, and they were so like shocked, and they didn't believe it. And it was like they started looking up, and it was like, well, it says they had my real name, Miles McCollum. So Miles McCollum, then it said Jatavia Johnson, which is JT, and then it said Isaac Bonham, which is Earl. And it's like, so maybe he did like how Kanye had 12 writers, and he may said one thing in the studio and they credit him. Yeah. I wrote the whole song.
Oh my God.
Except for JT's last verse, but everything that everyone is singing and all, and I wrote the whole thing.
So you were in there.
Alright, yo, so this is fire, right? Lil Yachty did an interview with Current Frost, right? And he's like straight up to, like, the interview was dope. It's like a 50-minute interview. If you got the time, you should check it out because the whole shit is fire, right? But in a little snippet, like right around like the 29-30-minute mark, Lil Yachty, so Current Frost is like, hey man, I know you wrote Act Up for the City Girls, right? And he's like, yeah, I wrote that. So then he's like, how did that come about, right? So he's like, yeah, I was in the studio with Earl, and he's like, yo, write something for the City Girls. Like, they heard the beat, right? And he was feeling the beat, and he was like, all right, cool, I'll write something for the City Girls, right? So Lil Yachty explains that, like, he really knows how to like think like other people and other rappers. So what he did was he kind of like got into their minds a little bit and, just started, penning down, exactly what he thinks that the City Girls would say, right? So, and he said like he pretty much wrote the whole thing, right? So the only part that he says that he didn't write was JT's verse at the end, right? And that kind of makes sense, right? So JT is like the real rapper of the crew, right? She's been wanting to be a rapper forever, right? And JT is the one that's locked up right now, right? Young Miami, though, she was the one who like knew people. So Young Miami knew like people in the industry. She knew Trick Daddy, and she didn't really want to be a rapper. She just knew them. Like, yeah, those are my peoples, whatever like that. So Young Miami has a homegirl, JT, and JT really wants to be a rapper, and JT kept bugging Young Miami like, yo, we gotta rap, we gotta be a rapper. And you know why she was bugging Young Miami? Because Young Miami had the damn connections, right? But Young Miami wasn't no kind of rapper, right? So of course you got writers, right? And a lot of female rappers have writers, right? So Lil Yachty goes on to explain like, yeah, you know, I just kind of thought about like, what is the most like raunchiest shit that I could say, or, you know, that Young Miami would say. You know, he knows her personality, and, you know, they both signed to the same record label. You know, they both on QC, right? So he hangs around Young Miami a lot, right? So he goes, rich ass bitch getting fucked by the nigga, 5, 6 figures. You know, he's fucking on the rich ass scamming ass nigga. You know, saying good with bitches, I ain't playing for the picture. You know, you start like really writing that shit, right? Which is fire, right? Nobody would know that Lil Yachty actually was the one who actually wrote this, right? Because a lot of people try to like write off like these Lil rappers. Let's say Lil, like with the name Lil, like Lil Skies or Lil Uzi Vert or Lil Yachty or whatever like that. They try to write them off as like mumble rappers, right? But like these dudes are in a position for a reason, right? These dudes are dead ass talented, right? And I've always liked Lil Yachty, like ever since he came out, you know, ever since he was on that song, Broccoli with Drum, you know, One Night, Minnesota. Like, I've always liked Lil Yachty, right? Like, I'm a huge hip-hop head, right? So I like everything from, and this is why I even started this show, like, Let's Talk Hip-Hop, because I like everything from Soulja Boy to Nas to, you know, Scarface to Lil Uzi Vert. You know, I like everybody from, like, YBN Namir to Trick Daddy. Like, I like all hip-hop, right? I'm a hip-hop head, you know, so I'm not gonna be selective what kind of hip-hop I listen to. I'm gonna listen to all hip-hop. That's like a crackhead, right? A crackhead is not gonna be selective on what kind of crack they smoke. Oh, this rock is too yellow, or this rock is too big, or this rock is too small. You give a crackhead some crack, they gonna smoke the crack, right? So if you give me, I'm a hip-hop head, if you give me some hip-hop, I'm gonna listen to the hip-hop. I don't give a damn really, you know, who the rapper is, if they're male, if they're female, where they from. You know, I love all of the shit, right? So Lil Yachty is somebody that I always was like, all right, he's cool, he's dope, you know, I like his style, and all of that. And this doesn't surprise me that he wrote this song for the City Girls. I mean, look, a lot of female rappers, and you know, a few rappers period, even male rappers, but a lot of female rappers like really don't write their rhymes. Like Lil' Kim never wrote her rhymes. You know, Biggie wrote that shit. Jay-Z wrote for Foxy Brown. You know, Eve is like 50-50. Like Eve, you know, wrote some of her rhymes, but I think like Drag On was penning a lot of her shit, right? I mean, even, you know, Lauryn Hill, right? And so this is why, you know, Cardi B, we know that she don't write her rhymes. Partisan writes her shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but this is why, you know, Nicki Minaj, when she came out, she really was like, yo, I write my own rhymes. I write my own rhymes. Nobody write my rhymes for me. I write my own rhymes, you know? And I think for me, like Nicki Minaj is the greatest female rapper of all time, right? But her ex-boyfriend, Safari, you know, said that he used to write her rhymes for her, right? But then he came out later and said that, you know, he was just lying, he was upset or whatever like that. And you know, it was kind of funny because Safari and Nicki Minaj, they've been together since like they was in high school, right? They was like 15 years old together, right? Safari is from here in Brooklyn, so Safari and Nicki Minaj kind of came up together and got big and got famous together, right? And then they broke up, and then, you know, she got with Meek Mill. But it was crazy because like as soon as she broke up with Safari, she like stopped making music, right? It was like a huge halt, and she gave like everybody like a 2-year break, right? And so that kind of was funny to me because in my back of my head, I'm like, okay, as soon as she stops messing with Safari, the music stops too, right? And then we all know that Meek Mill was like so like gun-ho about writing your own rhymes as a rapper that I kind of felt like she was scared to even say or write anything because she couldn't write for herself. And since she's around Meek Mill, she kind of just had to be on hush mouth because Meek Mill would not accept somebody else writing for her. You know what I mean? And it was kind of weird and funny, but I guess she was like in a different headspace when she was with Meek Mill, because after she broke up with Meek Mill and she wasn't getting back with Safari, she did start coming out with a lot of great music again. And I think that the music was like even better than the old music from before. So, you know, I honestly believe that Nicki Minaj like writes her own rhymes, and is probably like one of the rare female artists that really write her own rhymes. Maybe like Rico Nasty and like Billboard Baddie write their own rhymes too. But other than that, that's like pretty much it, you know what I'm saying? So this is actually really fire. And so Lil Yachty is basically saying that he's gonna be writing a little bit more for like a lot of other people too, you know? I remember like when Lil Yachty first came out, a lot of people were saying, oh, you trash, you whack, you a mumble rapper. And he really wanted to like, Lil Yachty respects hip hop. He really wanted to like show and prove that he could be like a real MC. And I remember when he started like writing, like instead of like doing like that melodic, I just want you for one night, instead of like doing that melodic thing, he actually started trying to write and pen some shit, right? Like from D to the A with T Grizzly, he started like really writing some shit. There was a song called Boom that he like really was spitting on that. He hip hopper, this time my dick and my flip hoppers, with him and Black Youngster, he was like really spitting on that too. So I could see like he takes like this writing thing as a challenge, and he respects hip hop. And I think that it's really dope that he really penned that shit for the City Girls, and I think that he should keep on writing shit for the City Girls, because that shit is about to go platinum, and he literally gave them a platinum record, right? Which is fire. Yeah, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments.
Getting it together, chopping them down. Outside drive-through movie theater. Cutting up for the song.
So Boosie is building a drive-in movie theater, right? He said drive-through movie theater, but I'm sure he meant drive-in movie theater, because how you gonna drive through? Anyway, so yo, this is dope, right? Because let me tell y'all something, right? I'm from New York, right? And we don't have enough space for no shit like that, right? So yeah, if y'all ever come to New York, like, yo, dead ass B, all you see is like mad buildings and shit, B, like straight facts, like dead ass, like that's what I'm saying, son. Like that's where I'm from, you know what I'm saying? Like you see buildings, you see taxi cabs, you see niggas with money, and that's about it. Sprinters, and that's about it, right? We don't have room for no drive-in movie theaters and nothing like that, right? When I was 18, right, I joined the Air Force, right? And I ended up like getting out of New York, but not like moving out of New York. I was stationed, like they had my black ass, they had me in like Texas, New Mexico. They had me like in different places, like in Vegas a couple of times. I was in South Korea, like I was all over the place, right? But when I went to like all these different places, right, I saw like different things that I didn't see here in New York, right? And one of those things were like a Sonic. Y'all ever see like commercials for like a fast food restaurant that you know damn well is not in your city? Like for the longest time, there was no Chick-fil-A in New York. We finally got a Chick-fil-A. For the longest time, we didn't even have Wingstop in New York, but now we got Wingstop, right? So we don't have Sonic in New York right now, and we never had Sonic. I never even knew nothing about Sonic, right? Until I went to Texas, right? And so I pull up to the Sonic. I got a little shorty in the car with me, whatever. We ordering burgers and shit like that. And it's like a drive, like in movie theater kind of thing, but without the movie theater. But you just drive in, right? If you ever been to Sonic, right? You order your food through like the little thing, and then they come up to the car. They're on skates and shit like that, right? And I'm from Brooklyn, right? So I'm like, oh wow, like they on skates, like this is fire. Like you skating up to the car with the food in your hand. This is like something that I only like saw on TV, right? I'm 18 years old. I'm like, yo, this is fire, right? Definitely blew my mind, right? But that gave me an idea, and I said to myself, yo, it would be cool to like build like an old school like drive-in movie theater where like, the girls come up to your car, You order your food, they bring the popcorn, hot dogs, whatever like that. They on skates. And I always thought that it would be fire, right? But I ain't have no money. Like, I don't got Boosie money, right? Like, so obviously I didn't do it, right? But Boosie is actually building like a drive-in movie theater, right? And this is cool because this, I don't know like how they're gonna do it. I mean, he's building it from scratch. You see, like, they're cutting down like a part of the woods, right? So they're gonna make like their own exit. I mean, I'm sure this thing is gonna be huge, right? It's not like he's buying a drive-in movie theater or remodeling an old, you know, Sonic to be a drive-in movie theater. Like, he's building it from the ground up, right? And this is gonna be fire, man. Like, I'm gonna go to it, man. I don't know where it's at. It's probably in Atlanta because that's where Boosie lives. But this joint is gonna be cool. Like, I don't know how it's gonna work. Like, are you gonna hear the sound like maybe through Bluetooth, like through some speakers, like in your car? Or maybe they'll give you a speaker, like, here, just sit this in your car, you know, and turn it up. Make sure you return the speaker after, whatever the case may be. Like, I don't know how like all that works, but then again, shit, I ain't building a movie theater, right? I'm just gonna go there and enjoy the shit, right? Whenever they done, right? So he's like, we cutting up for the summer. Like, usually it takes like some time for them to build something. He talking about we cutting up for the summer. Like, y'all gonna have this ready by the summertime because it's already like April something right now. You know what I'm saying? But yo, this is too fire. Like, I'm looking forward to this for real, yo. And that's what you do, right? You take your show money, you take your royalty money and you invest that shit, right? Like, all the money and the cash flow that Boosie got coming in, I promise you, like, you don't even need to do another album, you know, ever in his life. You know, like, he was upset like a week ago because, you know, his album really didn't sell that much. His new album, he was like, I got everybody sitting on my live. Y'all want to sit here, y'all want to watch me, y'all want to talk to me, y'all want to laugh and ha 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 and key, but you don't want to buy my album.
You know, y'all, you should feel bad. Boosie putting you in his world all the time, letting y'all see this shit. Let y'all see how this rap shit is. And you don't even want to spend $10, $20 and buy a nigga CD. Get the fuck off my live right now. Nigga be all on live, have y'all laughing and shit. You don't even want to spend $9. You don't want to buy one song for $128. Get the fuck right now.
You know, he was upset about that, but really and truly, like, Boosie got money. Like, he don't even need to buy another album. Between shows and investments, let's say you got like 15 small businesses. Think about the small business owner who was never a rapper, right? But he owns 15 small businesses around your city. He's good, right? You would think like, he's good. That nigga got money, right? So Boosie, if you selling albums plus you got the businesses, that's just extra money, right? Yeah, the people need to know your songs so that when you go perform them, they can sing along and shit. But really, you could just perform old shit. You could perform zoom, zoom, zoom. You could perform that till you die. You could perform INPENDNTBND. Do you know what that means? Hey, you could perform like whatever you want to until you fucking are 50 years old, if that's what you want to do, because you getting money through all different venues. You know what I'm saying? And you know what they say, man, the average millionaire has at least 6 to 8 incomes. So hell yeah, bro, like, do your thing and get your money, man. I'm trying to invest with you because that's a good ass motherfucking idea. Holla at me, you know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think about all this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Follow me at Jonny Fastlane, that's JONNY Fastlane, on everything that's Instagram and Twitter, and y'all already know what to do. Peace.